So you think everyone's moving to the same 5 states, right? Cool story. But the data from multiple moving companies in 2024 to 2025 shows something weirder. It's not just a Sunbelt stampede, it's a mini metro takeover. People are bailing on high-cost, high-density places and choosing smaller to mid-sized cities where life feels workable again. But here's the catch. The hottest spots aren't always the ones you see on TikTok. Some of the biggest winners are places that sound like they should be a highway exit. And we're counting down the new migration map so you don't move late and pay the newcomer tax. Before we continue, hit subscribe so you never miss the latest updates. Number 1, Texas. So Texas isn't everyone moved to Austin. That was like 2016 through 2021 energy. The 2025 vibe is a quiet breakup. People are still in the relationship. They just moved their stuff to New Braunfels, Kyle, Georgetown, and anywhere on the edges where you can inhale without tasting brake dust. Because the pitch was always simple, right? Jobs. No state income tax. And that classic line you tell yourself at 2 a.m., I'm gonna buy a house with a yard and become a person who grills. Texas sold that dream hard, and for a while it actually penciled out. But then Austin got pricey and packed. And the whole keep Austin weird thing started feeling more like keep Austin waiting. Waiting in traffic. Waiting for a table. Waiting to pay $18 for a sandwich that comes on a plank of wood like it's doing a TED Talk. Don't even get me started on the drivers. Everyone drives like they're late to a meeting they chose to schedule. So here's the thing. The real move is mini metro life. You keep the paycheck access, you ditch the daily chaos, you live 30 to 60 minutes out and you treat the city like a weekend activity. Friday night? Sure, go in. Tuesday morning? Absolutely not. You're home, you've got space, and you can park without doing a 3-point turn into someone's ego. And yeah, you might have seen Texas pop up as a bigger outbound story in some 2025 mover datasets. People see that and go, wait, is Texas over? No. A lot of that outbound is still Texas people moving inside Texas. It's like musical chairs, but everyone's carrying a Peloton and a golden doodle. Real life is all about commute math now. 2 days in office? Suddenly New Braunfels doesn't feel far. Kyle looks genius. Georgetown feels like you hacked the system. 5 days in office? You're back to crying in your car, eating gas station tacos, and telling yourself it builds character. But here's what nobody tells you. Property taxes. Folks brag about no income tax, then their escrow jumps and their face goes blank like a Wi-Fi router just died. Let that sink in. Your mortgage payment can grow without asking your permission. And summer's hot. It's why does my steering wheel want to fight me hot? You'll learn the art of sprinting from shade to shade like it's a video game. Texas still wins if you treat it like hub and spoke. Earn near the big name, live in the B-list town that actually functions. You're not chasing Texas. You're chasing distance from Texas traffic. Number 2, Florida. So Florida looks cheap right up until the moment you get the insurance quote. And it hits you like a jump scare in a dark hallway. The listing says low taxes, sunshine, palm trees, and your brain goes, I'm healed. Then the monthly bill shows up and you start doing long division like it's a survival skill. Because the setup is always the same. You're done with winter. You want flip-flops in February. You want that no state income tax energy. And you want to post one smug photo where you're wearing shorts while your old friends are scraping ice off a windshield. But here's the catch. The big name magnets got pricey and the hidden bills got loud. Home insurance, flood insurance, maybe wind coverage, and then an HOA that charges you to exist. And car insurance? People move down and suddenly their car insurance costs the same as a small apartment back home. Let that sink in. You didn't even upgrade the car, you just changed zip codes. So the move shifts. Not as much oceanfront fantasy, more inland math. Smaller pockets where you're not paying beachfront prices for a view of a parking lot and a dumpster corral. You still get the sunshine, you just stop pretending you need to smell salt water every time you open your door. And Florida stays a top inbound state in 2025 mover data, which makes sense, but it's not all Miami and Tampa highlight reels. A lot of it is basic life stuff. Families chasing space, people following jobs, Retirees doing the spreadsheet thing where every line item gets bullied into submission. Local life in the mini metros is a trade. You lose some nightlife, sure, but you gain the ability to park at Target without going to war. You can run errands without it feeling like a theme park queue where everyone's sunburnt and angry. Don't even get me started on the drivers. Half the cars are going 95 like they're in a video game, and the other half are doing 42 with a left blinker on for 4 straight counties. Hidden catch number 2, wages. If you're leaving a high-pay coastal job and you think you're going to start fresh locally, you might be in for a rude little budget meeting with yourself. The pay can drop fast, and the bills don't care about your beach mood. And yes, the heat is one thing. The humidity is a lifestyle. Your hair will never forgive you. Your glasses will fog up just from existing. Florida works best as a budget puzzle. Pick the right pocket, add up the real monthly extras, and you can get the sunshine without getting wrecked. If your plan doesn't include an insurance quote, it's not a plan. It's a daydream. Number 3, North Carolina. So North Carolina right now is America's fine, I'll compromise state. Not in a boring way either. It's the place you land when you want a normal life that still has jobs, schools, and food. That isn't just chains off an exit. The sneaky winners aren't always the big, flashy parts people name drop. It's the orbit towns and the coastal spots that feel big enough to have options, but not so big that you lose a full hour of your life trying to buy paper towels. Because your checklist is simple. You want a solid job market nearby, decent schools, and a house that doesn't cost a kidney and your firstborn. You want to feel like an adult who has it together, not a person paying luxury rent to share a wall with someone's drum set. But here's the catch. Charlotte and Raleigh got popular, and prices moved like they got a raise. Same house, same street. Suddenly it's multiple offers, no inspection, vibes only. So people counterpunch by going smaller. Not middle of nowhere. Not the hottest zip codes. Zoom in on Wilmington for a second. It shows up as a top inbound metro in 2025 mover data. And honestly, that tracks. You've got beach access without needing a billionaire's budget. You can still do normal errands and you don't feel like you're living inside a parking app. The lifestyle math is what sells it. You get pockets where you can walk to coffee, hit a park, grab dinner, and be home without planning it like a military op. It's neighborhoods, real ones. And when traffic exists, it's not 90 minutes to go 6 miles while your podcast ends and your soul leaves your body. But yeah, it's coastal. Storm risk is part of the deal. Humidity is also part of the deal. Your shirt will stick to you like it's cling wrap, and you'll start judging places based on shade, like you're a lizard. And then there's tourist season. Your calm little town turns into a loud group chat. Restaurants get slammed, roads get weird, and don't even get me started on the drivers. Everybody's either lost, speeding, or braking for vibes. One more thing people mess up. Healthcare access. Bigger metros can have great options, but in smaller spots you need to check how far the good hospital is. Don't guess, drive it. Time it. Allied and Atlas both flag the Carolinas as strong inbound in 2024 to 2025 because it's that affordability plus jobs sweet spot. So here's the thing. North Carolina is a cheat code if you pick the right scale. Earn near the job engines, live where your day feels lighter. If your dream is, I want a life, not a skyline, this is the blueprint. Would you live with storms for beach days? Yes or nope? Drop it. Number 4, South Carolina. South Carolina is the glow-up state, and Greenville is the poster child. People move there and act like they found a cheat code. Like they're the first human to notice you can have trees, trails, and a decent dinner without selling a kidney. Because the setup is clean, you want lower taxes, cheaper homes in the Northeast or the West, and a place that still has jobs and stuff to do after 7 p.m. You want small city vibes with I can still get sushi options, right? But here's the catch. The second everyone starts calling Greenville underrated, it stops being underrated. Prices creep up, then they lunge, and traffic shows up like it got invited to the party and brought 5 cousins. And you feel it in dumb little moments. The left turn that used to be quick now needs a full prayer. The 10-minute drive becomes 25 because one lane is closed and everyone is rubbernecking like it's a free show. Don't even get me started on the drivers. Half of them are in a hurry, the other half are sightseeing in the fast lane like it's a museum. Also, it's not just Charleston doing the heavy lifting for the state. The upstate has these smaller nodes where you can get more space, still have solid stores and schools nearby, and you're not hours from a real airport. That's the mini metro move. You're close enough to the action to cash the paycheck, far enough out that your day doesn't feel like a constant line. On the data side, South Carolina keeps landing near the top of inbound lists in 2024 and 2025 mover studies. And it fits the broader pattern. Mid-sized places, steady growth, cost of living that still feels manageable if you're coming from a high-rent zip code. Now, local flavor. Greenville feels like a city that got curated by a committee that loves breweries, outdoor trails, and cute downtown lighting. It's aggressively adorable. You'll see strollers, dogs with better health insurance than you, and patios packed like it's a sport. But here's what nobody tells you. Wages can lag if you're not bringing a remote job or a strong offer. And school districts? That story changes block by block, not city by city, so you can't just assume. And summer is sticky. The pollen is personal, like it has beef with you. So here's the thing. South Carolina wins when you treat it like a cluster. Pick the mini metro near the job engine, not the hype center, because the goal is a life that feels easy, not a zip code that impresses strangers. Number 5, Tennessee. Tennessee gets sold as Nashville, like the whole state is one big bachelorette party with a hot chicken hangover. But the second you see the Nashville price tag, the real plan clicks. Live outside it or skip the zip codes everyone flexes and go mini metro. Because yeah, the pitch is strong. No state income tax on wages, a job scene that keeps getting thicker in healthcare and business, and that sweet thought you whisper to yourself, I can afford a house. You picture a porch, maybe a grill, maybe you become a person who owns more than one chair. But Nashville got hot, and hot turns into expensive fast. Then the newbies show up and the city starts charging you big city money for medium city bones. Roads that feel like they were laid down when disco was still a threat. Intersections that make no sense. Parking that feels like a side quest. And you still get the fun stuff, sure. Live music, sports, food that's actually legit. But you also get the daily drag of sitting behind 6 cars trying to merge into one lane because someone decided cones were a personality. Don't even get me started on the drivers. One person is doing 92, one is texting at a green light, and somehow they're both mad at you. So here's the thing. The winners are the smaller places that still plug into Nashville's jobs, or the other Tennessee hubs where you can buy a decent place without entering a bidding war cage match. It's the radius move. You're close enough to tap the paychecks in the airport, far enough to stop paying for the hype. And the data backs the vibe. Tennessee keeps showing up as an inbound state across 2024 to 2025 moving company studies. And it's not because everyone suddenly loves honky-tonks. It's affordability plus jobs with a side of, I just want my money to go further. But here's what nobody tells you. The cheap state pitch skips the tax mix. Sales taxes can sting, and property costs in the popular counties have been rising, so your monthly spend can creep up even if your paycheck feels safe. Let that sink in. Cheap on paper can turn into pricey in real life. Also, be honest about why you're moving. If you're chasing culture, cool, but what do you do on a random Wednesday? If it's Netflix, groceries, and maybe the gym, mini metro wins because your life is mostly weekdays. Tennessee is strongest when you stop chasing the Nashville zip codes and start chasing the Nashville radius. Your bank account doesn't care how cool your skyline is. Number 6, Idaho. Idaho had a moment. Boise blew up. And now Boise is doing that thing where it's still nice, still clean, still got the foothills right there. But it's not the bargain people moved for. You missed the cheap Boise window, and the market is not shy about it. Because the dream was simple. Mountains close by, neighborhoods that feel calmer, and a home price that made people from high-cost places feel rich overnight, like they just found a cheat code in the settings menu. But then prices climbed, fast, and the secret got broadcast to the whole internet. So the new Idaho move is not Boise or nothing. It's go smaller, go farther out, or you start side-eyeing other states when your lender starts coughing. And yeah, Idaho still shows up as a top inbound state in 2025 mover studies. That's the wild part. Even with higher prices, people keep coming. Demand is real. It's happening. You're not ready for what's next. Here's the thing. Most people don't even need Boise. They need Boise access, the airport, the hospitals, the job hubs, the Costco run that doesn't take a full day. They don't want Boise pricing, so they radiate out like a spill. They'll take the longer drive if it means the house doesn't cost starter Tesla money every year in payments. Picture your week. You live outside the core, you keep your errands tight, and you only go into Boise when you have a reason. Otherwise, you're living that quieter Idaho life where the sky's huge and your neighbors wave, which is either wholesome or terrifying depending on your personality. But here's what nobody tells you: job market depth. Boise has more options than the small towns, sure, but Idaho is not a place where you can just figure it out if you don't have remote income or a locked-in offer. The wage-to-home price math can get ugly fast, and you'll feel it when you're staring at a rent number that doesn't match the local pay. Also, winters. Some folks love seasons. Some folks learn their car battery hates them. You'll do the whole routine: scraper, boots, dark at 4:30, and that 1 week where you swear you're moving back to anywhere with sun. And if you're moving for outdoors, check wildfire smoke season too. It's part of the deal now. You can have the mountains and still spend a chunk of summer looking at a hazy sky like it's a bad Instagram filter. Idaho can still work, but treat it like a lifestyle purchase and have the income plan nailed down. Boise is the gateway. The deal is usually outside Boise. Number 7, Arizona. So Arizona is what happens when you want the Sun Belt, but you don't want to feel like you're wearing Florida as a wet blanket. Phoenix gets the headlines, the big shiny move here energy, and then people quietly go, cool, now where's the version of this that doesn't feel like a parking lot? The setup is obvious. Jobs, sunshine, and that dumb little flex where you're outside in February like, wow, it's 72, while your group chat back home is fighting black ice. You want the desert views, the sunsets, the hiking, the whole screensaver life. But here's the catch. Phoenix got more expensive and more crowded, and the heat isn't a quirky detail. A monthly bill with a temperature setting. Summer hits and your AC becomes your most important relationship. You'll start judging homes by windows and shade like you're an HVAC tech with trust issues. So the mini metro move is real. People start looking at smaller Arizona cities where you still get the desert lifestyle and easy day trips. You're not spending half your life idling at red lights behind someone with a Salt Life sticker who is clearly lost. You still get big sky and wide roads, just fewer "why is this taking 40 minutes" moments. And the data angle here isn't complicated. Arizona pulls because it fits the bigger pattern. People are leaving high-cost coastal metros and landing in mid-sized, more affordable hubs in the Inland West. It's not magic, it's math. Plus the fact that sunshine is a drug. Now, hidden catch number 1, water anxiety. Even if you don't care about policy or reservoirs or any of that, you'll hear about it within a week. From a neighbor, from a coworker, from a guy at a bar who suddenly becomes a hydrologist. Let that sink in. It's just part of the background noise. Hidden catch number 2, sprawl. If you want walkables, you have to hunt for it on purpose. Otherwise, you're living in a beige maze of turn lanes and strip malls where every errand is a 14-minute drive and somehow also a 35-minute drive. Don't even get me started on the drivers. Everyone is either doing 20 under because they're scared or 20 over because they're late and angry. Quality of life in Arizona is super neighborhood specific. 2 miles can change your commute, your noise, your vibe, even your electric bill. Arizona wins when you pick heat-smart housing, a smaller footprint city, and you stop pretending you'll hike at 2 p.m. in July. The desert is amazing. The electric bill is also amazing. Number 8, Nevada. So Nevada migration isn't people move to Vegas to party. That's the postcard. The real story is people running from California prices, landing in Nevada, and then instantly trying to find the quiet parts so they can sleep like a normal human. The setup is obvious. No state income tax, a big airport if you need to bounce, and you're still close enough to the West Coast that weekend trips don't feel like you're crossing an ocean. But here's the catch. Vegas growth comes with Vegas problems. More traffic, more line-cutting energy, more people fighting over the same houses, and a cost curve that just keeps creeping like a subscription you forgot to cancel. So the mini metro play is basically get the Nevada perks, avoid the loudest zones, and don't build your whole life around the Strip. Data-wise, Nevada fits that broader West pattern. Costly coastal states push people out, and more affordable interior states pull them in, even when the total number of moves slows down. It's not that everyone suddenly loves sagebrush, it's that the math got aggressive. Now let's talk daily life. You get desert views and wide roads, and for a while it feels clean and new and kind of futuristic. Then one day you look around and realize your nice new build is basically in a dust bowl with a Starbucks supply chain holding the whole neighborhood together. Like if that one drive-through closes, society collapses. And don't even get me started on the drivers. The roads are wide, so everyone treats them like a runway. Half the cars are doing 90 with full confidence, and the other half are braking for no reason like they just saw a ghost. Hidden catch. The job market can be feast or famine depending on what you do. If your world is tied to hospitality or tourism-adjacent work, you're riding the same roller coaster as the economy. When things are good, it's great. When things are weird, it gets weird fast. Let that sink in. Also, summer heat. Different flavor than the sticky South. This is dry, brutal, and deceptive. You step outside and your face feels toasted in 10 seconds, like you opened an oven to check on pizza. And then your electric bill shows up acting like it paid rent too. Practical tip if you're remote. Check internet quality and outage history, especially outside the main corridors. High speed on a listing can mean good luck on Zoom. Here's the thing. Nevada is a strong value move if you treat it like a base camp. Tax perks, access, space, and you can still tap the big city stuff when you want it. You don't need the Strip energy to get the Nevada benefits. Would you live near a dust storm for no income tax? Yes or nope? Number 9, Georgia. So Georgia isn't people moving to Atlanta? It's Atlanta gravity. You want the jobs in that monster airport that can drop you in basically any city on Earth, but you do not want to live inside the daily mess that comes with it. Because Georgia's pitch is stacked. Logistics is huge here. Film work pops up in weird places, and there's plenty of tech spillover without paying coastal prices for a one-bedroom and a raccoon roommate. The cost of living still looks kind of sane on paper, and that's exactly how they get you. But here's the catch. Atlanta growth is real, and the traffic feels like a prank that went too far. You'll look at the map and think, that's 12 miles. Then your GPS says 58 minutes and you start negotiating with your life choices. Don't even get me started on the drivers. Every lane has a different mood, and none of them are calm. So people start doing the mini metro move. Not because they hate Atlanta, but because they want Atlanta access. They want the paychecks, the airport, the concerts, the specialists, the big shopping run. And then they want to go home to a place where parking isn't a competitive sport. And Georgia keeps showing up as a top inbound state in Allied's 2024 data, right in that southeast inbound cluster. Which tracks because the play is simple. Get close enough to the engine to earn, but far enough out that your day doesn't get eaten alive. Here's the thing. The best Georgia deal is usually a smaller city with its own identity that still plugs into the Atlanta economy. You're in a place where people recognize your car at the coffee shop after a month, but you can still be in the big city when you actually need to be. But here's what nobody tells you. Sprawl costs. That cheap house can come with an expensive commute, and gas adds up like a subscription you forgot to cancel. Tires, oil, wear and tear, random tolls, the whole slow bleed. Let that sink in. So if you're coming for jobs, you have to track where the employers actually are. One county over can change your whole week. Near Atlanta is a phrase that can ruin your mornings if you don't define it. Local vibe is strong too. You'll get community fast in the smaller spots. Some people, that's perfect. Others, it's like living in a group project where everyone has opinions. Georgia is Goldilocks when you pick a mini metro that's close enough to earn, but far enough to live. The airport is the superpower. The trick is not living under the flight path. Number 10, Alabama. So Alabama is the one people don't brag about online. It's exactly why it can still be a deal. It's like finding a menu where the prices look wrong, in a good way, and you're waiting for the waiter to tell you there's a catch. There is, but it's not always the kind that ruins it. The setup is lower home prices, a few pockets with steady growth, and a slower pace that makes your brain unclench. You wake up and you're not instantly in a contest for parking. You can run to the store and it's just a store. Let that sink in. Normal errands feel like a luxury now. The mini metro angle is where Alabama actually works. The wins tend to be in metros with real employers, not just pretty streets and low prices. Think manufacturing bases, defense-related work, healthcare hubs, and towns where a big university basically acts like an economic engine that keeps the lights on. That's where you get an actual ladder, not just a cheap mortgage and vibes. Data-wise, Alabama showed up on inbound lists in 2024, including Atlas putting it in the inbound top 10, which surprised a lot of people because it's not a trendy headline state. And that's the point. When a place isn't being spammed by influencers, you're less likely to pay the newcomer premium just for showing up. Alabama is geo-arbitrage on hard mode, but if you match the right mini-metro to the right job base, the cost-to-life ratio is nasty in a good way. This is the move for people who like winning quietly, so if you're planning a move, stop shopping by vibes. Shop by math. Check the median home price, taxes, insurance, job depth, and how often you'll really commute when your boss suggests more office days. That's it for today. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more updates you won't want to miss.